Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another retro ranking. And as you know, with retro rankings, anything can be put into this. And today we have got a legend in music. And that is the one and only Mr. Glenn Miller. Now, I love Glenn Miller because growing up, my granddad was a huge fan of Glenn Miller. I've got his 78s of Glenn Miller. Yes, I've got 78s of Glenn Miller. So they're very special to me because they were my granddad's, and that it was my granddad that introduced me to Glenn Miller. Born Alton Glenn Miller, was born on the 1st of March 1904. I don't think we've ever talked about anyone born at the beginning of the 20th century. And of course he disappeared on a flight from England to France in December of 1944, and he was declared dead on the 16th of December 1945. They've never found the plane nor the body. But he was a big band conductor, arranger, composer. He played the trombone and a recording artist. During the Second World War, he was an officer in the Air Force. They were one of the. They actually go down as one of the most popular and successful bands of the 20th century, believe it or not, in that big band era. Loads of tracks. Oh, some great tracks. And as I said, on the 15th of December, in a flight over the Channel, he disappeared and he was MIA. So he left us some great music. And also in February 45 he was posthumously awarded the Bronze Star Medal. But he has got a memorial headstone at Arlington National Cemetery, so there is a monument to the great man. So here are my favourite songs that he wrote and performed, and they're all down to what I used to listen to with my granddad. So coming in at number 10, this is a track that he recorded way back in 1939, and it is called Stairway to the Stars. Now there's one thing I like about the music of Glenn Miller and his band: the muted trumpet and the clarinets. There's a great little vocal in here. This sort of thing reminds me of some of the wartime dramas. This is the sort of thing you'd get the interlude music on Dad's Army and Foyle's War and them sort of things. I just love it. It's one of them big microphones, dinner jackets, black ties, so relaxing. Wonderful little track. Okay, coming in at number 9, we stay in the year of 1939, and a thing called Little Brown Jug. Now, I'm convinced this is the real start of the 3-chord rock and roll sound. Bit controversial. And a lot of people that are into music and the thing of rock and roll say the same. It's got the shuffle. The shuffling drums that we all love. I love this. We used to sing this at school, believe it or not. You know, it's got a great little tune to it. I love the trumpets in this one as well. Da 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 diddly da diddly da 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 da. But yeah, what a little tune, and you know, and it's them clarinets that sound great in it. Okay, coming in at number 8, we got a 1941 now. And a great track called the Chattanooga Choo Choo. The start of this definitely fits in with the start of a steam locomotive starting with the pistons start and the wheels go round. They got that sound and the hoot, like the American chime, which I love on their steam locomotives. Their whistles are absolutely brilliant. But what's about this? You've got this lovely bass line and piano on this as well, and it's got a nice chug, like if the train's going along the track. I've always liked that. Okay, coming number 7 is probably the earliest song on the list. This one comes from 1938, and it's called My Reverie. It's got a great muted trumpet. I love the muted trumpet. That wah sort of sound. Got a great trumpet solo on it. This is the sort of thing you find in Laurel and Hardy films. That sort of reminds, and it does remind me of my childhood, sitting listening to these songs with my granddad, and that was one that he particularly liked. Okay then, coming in at number 6, 1940 now, another sort of train one. Pennsylvania 65000, a classic Glenn Miller tune. It's got the growl of the vocal. Again, it's very associated with World War II. You've got all the troops dancing, and there's, you know, it's always a Glenn Miller song they're bopping away to. I just love this. I've heard this. I heard that when I heard this, I saw it at I think it was one of these railways at war, and there was a band playing this and singing. It was great. What a great track. Okay, coming in at number 9, we go back to 1939, and this one's got fond memories, not just because it's a great little track, and it's got some great little actions. It's called The Chestnut Tree, 'Neath the Spreading Chestnut Tree, from 1937. I love this song, but it just reminds me of Dad's Army. The episode Asleep in the Deep, when they get trapped in the pump room and it's filling up with water, and for morale they start singing this and doing the actions. What a great tribute to get Glenn Miller into Dad's Army, but it's just brilliant. I love this song and I love the actions to it. Okay, we're now moving into the top 4 of probably the most recognised Glenn Miller songs. So, number 4, coming in from 1942, is String of Pearls. Sorry, I can't sing it, but it's just a classic. That swing, that trumpet, the clarinets, it's just a wonderful piece of music. Really like that one. Okay, coming in at number 3, we go back to 1938. It's affectionately known as the signature tune of Mr. Glenn Miller, and it's the beautiful Moonlight Serenade. What a wonderful piece of music. Just again fills you. You hear this and you think of servicemen dancing in the wartime. It's just a magical piece of music. Okay then, number 2, back to 1940. One of the second favourite track, and it's Tuxedo Junction. That womp 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 womp. It's again about steam locomotives on the long drag up the hill, up gradients. That's slow. It's just got that thing. It's a great melody. Definitely one of my favourite tracks. But my number 1 is from 1939, and I consider this the very first rock and roll song. That's in my opinion, and it's In the Mood. And you can play this in a rock and roll thing as well. It's got that drum shuffle, which rock and roll was based on, and it's the timing signature of this. And a lot of people have said this is just pure rock and roll. So that's why I reckon this is probably the first sounding rock and rolly track. I mean, people have covered it. I mean, Mud have even covered it, and you know, it's just a great track. I just love this. It's just got that sort of groove to it, hasn't it? And when you watch people dance into this, it's very near enough jiving. Absolutely great track. So there we go. There's some fond memories for me listening to these tracks with my granddad. I remember listening to some of these on 78. I mean, I know I've got String of Pearls I've got Moonlight Serenade, In the Mood, and Tuxedo Junction are all on 78. So I have got some honourable mentions as well. So we go to 1944, probably one of the last songs that he recorded, and it's a great little track. I've heard lots of people do this, and it's called On a Little Street in Singapore. I think this is great. I've heard modern people sing it. I've heard some of the modern artists have sang this. I've heard Joss Stone sing this, and she sings it great. Just a fabulous track. Okay, my next one comes from 1940, and it's called The Woodpecker Song. It's quite quirky. It's a very Laurel and Hardy sort of song, thing, and you get the singing, you get the little sounds of the woodpeckers. Absolutely killer little track. And my last one is from 1940 as well, and it's got probably one of my favourite pieces of music with clarinets, and it's called Starlight and Music. It's so gentle, and it meanders along at a nice pace. It's so relaxing. So there we go. A little bit different this week, but I do like listening to Glenn Miller, and every time I put it on, it just reminds me of sitting at the record player with my granddad listening to this. So yeah, it was just fond memories. Okay, that's all for today. Tomorrow, Marathon Day, and tomorrow's going to be an early start on everything tomorrow, because I've got this appointment, someone coming to look at something, and it's one of them, they'll come any time between 9 and 5. So it'll be an early recording tomorrow, so I can get this done without being interrupted by the door going. So what have we got for you tomorrow? Well, we got one of the, now do you call them pub rock, punk? They're just a great bluesy rock and roll band, and it's the wonderful Dr. Feelgood. So that's what we've got tomorrow. So have a great day, everyone, and bye for now.